Did you know that map markers exist in Bedrock Edition? Do I have your attention now? Good. Let's go. But first, I did see a couple important comments in the last video, such as Paul mentioning how important frogs can be. They're a newer mob in the game, came out with 1.19, and have a couple very interesting things to talk about. We will definitely be doing a full episode about frogs later on. Also, a fun to know pig fact that I didn't mention that was brought up by R in the comments section. If a pig gets struck by lightning, they turn into a zombified piglin, also known as a ziglin. I have had this happen to entire pens of them before, so kind of an interesting and cool mechanic, but it can definitely catch you by surprise if you don't know about it. So for us to actually get started with our exploration today, we first need some paper, and I just collected a bunch not long ago and traded it, so I'm sure we can get more than enough sugarcane here with our super duper fast sugarcane field to make ourselves as much paper as we need. And now that we have picked our sugarcane, we can go to a crafting table and we can change all of our sugarcane into paper. And the crafting table is the first place I'm going to show you where to make a map. Now, there's actually two kinds of maps in Bedrock Edition, whereas there's only one kind of map in Java Edition. You have a normal map, which is that guy right there. And if I get myself, I think it's a piece of iron and a piece of redstone dust. Actually, it's 4 pieces of iron. We'll just grab a stack of it. And I come over here, I can make a compass. And then if you combine a compass together with a map, you get a locator map. So now we have two very different types of maps here. If I open up the locator map, you will see that my character is down there. That little white marker, that's me. You kind of see it moving around when I move around. You go to the regular map, it's the same thing, just without the marker. In Java Edition, they don't have just the map. They only have this guy. And that's what we're going to be working with today, because that's what's going to be most important for us today for the most part. Now, you may have saw when we went and we crafted that map up, it cost us a decent amount of paper. It's 9 pieces of paper to make one map. That can get a little expensive. There's actually an easier way to do this though. If you have yourself 4 pieces of paper and 4 planks, you can actually craft one of those. Now we're going to place this cartography table down and we're going to click it. So now inside of this cartography table, we can actually just put 1 sheet of paper and we can get a map. Or we can craft ourselves up some compasses, go to the cartography table. We can put 1 sheet of paper plus 1 compass will give us a locator map. So a lot cheaper way to do it. Now this map right here, this is a level 0 map. The level 0 map will show you 128 blocks out in each direction. If I wanted to make a copy of this level 0 map, first of all, I could take a piece of paper, put it in here, get myself another map, then take a level 0 map or whatever map it is, place an empty map in there with it, and I will be able to pull out 2 maps. They're the exact same map. You can make copies of maps just like that. It's incredibly easy. Not only that, but I have another cool tip for you that a lot of you guys may not know about. If we go here and we make one of these glass pane, we go over to the cartography table, we place one of these 2 maps down, and we place a pane of glass over top of it, it gives you a locked map. It's the same thing as a regular map, but a locked map does not change. If I were to build a whole bunch of things here, they're not going to show up on this map when I hold it. Pretty cool little tip if you want to keep progress of your world in any way. But that's not what we're going to do today. We actually want to take this level 0 map and we want to make it a larger map. Like I said, the level 0 map, it sees 128 blocks out in each direction. But if we add a sheet of paper to it, we will be brought to a level 1 map. A level 1 map can see 256 blocks out in each direction. And if you take that level 1 map, pop it in there again, you will get yourself a level 2 map. A level 2 map is able to see 512 blocks out in each direction. Level 3 is able to see 1,024 blocks out in each direction. And finally, the highest level map, level 4, is able to see 2,048 blocks out in each direction. That's a really long ways. And this map right here is what we are going to fill in. We're going to go exploring. Now, I've got my inventory mostly ready here to do some exploring. I already showed you how to make copies of maps because we're going to actually want to make a copy of this map while we're out, because making copies of maps is actually how you can do map markers. I mentioned this earlier. You can actually make map markers in Bedrock Edition. Let me grab the supplies I need. And that thing we're going to need is item frames. So we need some sticks and we need some leather. We'll go ahead, we'll craft a few planks into a bunch of sticks, and then we will go over to our item frames and we will probably, I don't know how many spaces we're going to find. So maybe we just need a whole bunch of item frames, pretty much all of our leather. We are going to need our cartography table. So we will chop it up and bring it with us. Although maybe we named this as our first spot, right? So we should go in here, I believe, to make a copy of a map. We need to use a map to make a copy. So now we have 2 copies of the same map. We will keep one for ourselves. We will take a copy and we're going to actually put it right up here. Now, as you can see, a lot of the world is not currently loaded on the map, which is fine. But if we take our map right here, we take a look, Ow, I catch myself on fire. That's part of the process. We move over here, you see that little green marker on the map. That, friends, that's a map marker. We can make those all over the place. Let's start exploring. Now, one of the things I'm gonna do to go exploring, first of all, I'm gonna bring a Fortune 3 hoe. That way so we can easily get ourselves any saplings from other biomes while we're out if we happen to come across them. Also, I would like to bring this mule. And while we do not have a saddle yet, if we're lucky, maybe we will find one. Also, I'm gonna put my map in my offhand. That way it's always up and available, because for you to explore a new area with your map, it does have to be in your hand for that area to show up. So let's go ahead. Let's loop our mule here. This is not our donkey. This is our mule. And let's bring him along. And I do have a task for you guys. We need a name for our mule because he's going to be very useful and hopefully he will not die on this trip. Drop the names down in the comment section below. You know what? Walking around without a saddle is going to be way too hard of a task. So we're going to get a saddle before we go out. Now you can typically and probably most commonly find saddles while you're exploring your world down in the caves or in different areas, because you can find it as chest loot in a lot of different areas around your world. But I'm going to use a different task, something else that we haven't talked about yet, and maybe we'll do an episode on. Let me know down in the comments below if you want me to do an episode on this. But if we make ourselves a fishing rod, I'm going to make a couple because they actually, oh, I just made a map, because they do kind of break over time. So I have a couple fishing rods here. If you fish, you can pull a saddle out of the water. You actually get a lot of things out of the water. And again, we're not going to go over all those things today, but there is a 0.8% chance without an enchanted fishing rod that we pull a saddle out. So that means if I fish, I don't know, about 120 times, we should find ourselves a saddle. Hopefully it takes a lot less than this. And after a little bit of time, and by a little bit, I mean probably almost an hour. It took a lot longer than I wanted it to. First of all, I did get to upgrade my fishing rod. We got Lure 2 and Unbreaking 3 on it because we did fish up some new rods. We combined them together. But more importantly, we have the saddle. So it is now time to saddle up and do a little bit of exploring. And I have a process you should follow when doing so. And here we go. We got our mule and we are on our way. I need to get my map out. Got it in our offhand here. And we're going to head for the corner of the map. And when we cross water, we want to have a lead with us because your animals, they cannot swim, at least the ones that you can ride. So we're going to need to lasso them up. And for little crossings like this should be all that we need to do. Now that we have ourselves up in the corner of the map, what we're going to do is we're just going to work in straight lines. So I'm going to travel straight south here and we will cover this whole portion of the map. Remember, we have to have the map out while we travel. So that's why I have it in my offhand. That way I can still have something in my main hand. Unfortunately, with Bedrock Edition, you cannot put a lot of different things in your offhand, but a map is one of the things that you can, and this can be incredibly useful. Also, don't fall down holes like that. Now, whenever you come to a slightly larger crossing like this, we will hop off of our mule here. We're gonna see if we can get him into the water. We're gonna put a boat down. He will get into that boat, and then for us to get in it with him, we just need to kind of click underneath it. So if we kind of go down to the water like this and give it a little click, we are now inside. We can very easily cross the water this way, and then we also need to get underneath it to actually knock him out. So we should be able to get back here, hit the bottom of the boat, and there we go. Give him a little push back into the shallow end, and then at that point we can get on and ride away. Now, once we get to the end of our first row, we're gonna hang a left in this case because that's gonna take us further in. And we're gonna go far enough over, right about here should be good. Maybe we can go a little bit more, and then we're just gonna make ourselves another row. Now I'm gonna repeat this all the way up and down, stopping and putting markers wherever I find a point of interest. That way, if I wanna travel back to one of these areas in the future, I know where to go. And also, if I see any cool areas that I would maybe like to build in that like really call to me. Can I jump this? Then I can mark those as well to go check back later for places to build things. Here's an interesting one. Look what we have found. This is an azalea tree, and an azalea tree is a sign that there is a lush cave down below. I think we found that earlier in the season. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead, we'll put an item frame on this, and now we will know that we need to come back to here at some point later on. We'll pop our map in our cartography table. We'll put a blank map in here. We will pull two maps out, one of which we will put up there. We'll pick our cartography table back up, and there you go. We get back here. We have ourselves another mark on the map. I fell into lava with the mule. Let's restart. Let's restart. Does this make you think differently of what to name the mule? I hope not. And the trip is over. And unfortunately, there wasn't really a whole lot of exciting places. We marked 3 villages. We marked that lush cave entrance where the azalea tree was, and we marked way down south there a pillager outpost. So now we have everything all marked. And as you can see, our other map that we have here, it's updated itself automatically, which is absolutely awesome. But we do have one more really fun thing we can do with our maps. So I'm gonna take an empty locator map here. I'm gonna open it, and I can see I'm loaded up here. I just wanna get the whole map loaded in. So I'm gonna run out here to the corner. Okay, perfect. Now I'm gonna run over till I'm outside of this map in this direction. So we'll wait until we kind of cross over that edge. Our little arrow thing won't disappear, but we know if we take a few steps in, we're good. I'm gonna open up another map. I'm gonna go to that one. Now I got this area loaded up, and I just want to make sure I get the corner loaded there. Now let's go this way, and we'll keep going until we cross over yet again. Open up a new map. Now we have this area all loaded up. Let's get this corner out here. Perfect. And if you can't tell already, what we're doing is we're making a map wall. So actually, I kind of want to see what this thing is looking like, and then how big we need to make it to capture our current base areas so far. So if we place these in here, I think we're only going to need 4. But let me place this here, that there.
Nope.
This goes right there, right? Is that right? No. This goes up here. So really we need this, and we need these 2 pieces. We need a total of 6 pieces. Okay, so let's grab this one. We know we need to get down here, and we know we need to get the back side of the barn and the area beside it. Here and here. And now I have a puzzle to put together. And there we go. That is our current home sweet home. Now this will expand over time. We will move to new areas, and maybe we will make more of these. And anytime we do anything major to the area, we will go through and we will update the map accordingly. For now though, if you enjoyed today's episode, please click that like button, subscribe to the channel, consider dropping a super thanks, and I will see you next time. Bye.